Hello, hello. Welcome to Star Trek Reliant, the Star Trek tabletop RPG podcast that has Star Trek Reliant in its name. Hello, I'm Duncan Idaho, your GM for tonight, and we have a full house of our regulars, starting with Chorog, our Gnostic security officer.
I'm JB, Pirate Scum Gaming. You call me Chorog, former pirate, newest recruit to Starfleet, and part-time tardigrade wrangler.
And we've got DB Wells, our science officer, who does time stuff.
Hello, I do time stuff. I have plans within plans within plans.
We've got Grawl, our xenobiologist / xenoanthropologist.
I'm Arcane Flame, and I'll be playing Gual and Faberi, and time to get back to the future.
And we have Darlin, whose primary character, Kara Ginrani, I think is still having things done.
Yeah, it's just, the thing is, you guys will have to go get her, so in the meantime, I'm just going to play Urton and the Rat Trio.
Yeah. And then we've got CMO, Exo, and Man with a Cape, Eli O'Connor.
I'm currently why can't I speak tonight? I'm currently acting captain, so CO instead of EXO. The powers in my head.
You can delegate to Grace. And then we've got our chief engineer, Rick Tier.
I make things go, and apparently stop a whole lot of Romulan assassination plot toward the Reliant.
And we get started with the USS Reliant still being it's cleared its quarantine, but it's currently having a little bit of a retrofit done in orbit of Starbase Magellan. I don't know if it really orbits, but it go round you round in a dry dock. But the ship is still having some refits done, leaving the crew free to get other duties done on behalf of the crew of the Starbase Magellan. We have, a bit going on tonight because, there's this whole Alliance Exploration Initiative thing that's starting to kick off. And a whole bunch of dignitaries have arrived on Starbase Magellan for a major conference to hash out some of the details for this AEI and start, putting out ships to go explore in more than just, a Starfleet-led way. So you've got members of the Romulan Republic, you even got a Klingon bird of prey, but notably you've got a couple of IBI cruisers that have showed up, in addition to a variety of other species. The IBI cruisers are certainly holding a little bit of the attention from local crews because, these are relatively novel ships for Starfleet to be seeing. They're sleek, they're flowing. They're not necessarily the most technologically advanced, but, they have done a good job of making these big, useful interstellar liners. So, you've got a couple of these hanging around Starbase Magellan, and, Eli.
Yes?
You are in, where have you made your ready room on Starbase Magellan?
I'm still just using the one on the Reliant. They can't tell me to get out. No.
Okay, so the Reliant currently, they've got like a bunch of the deck plates up. You've got, the bridge is half disassembled, but
I just like the idea that Eli doesn't care. He's just walking on the wires.
That is exactly it. Eli's still sleeping there. They have no reason to go into his quarters, so they touch anything. It's no, you don't get to go in there.
All right. Yeah. So, there's a small construction crew on the bridge, but you've got your ready room, and you've got Setsujigoro in there, who is the only IBI available in Starfleet on hand, because the other one is off and doing conclave stuff.
Best available IBI.
Best available IBI.
Even if Kara was here, she's still the best available IBI.
Probably.
Yeah, because I mean, she's the science one who typically knows the most, but she's.
I don't have to worry about her punching out a diplomat, is what I'm saying.
I mean, we'll see. She's got a lot of stress going recently, so yeah. So you've got Sessa Jagoro in your ready room, and Starfleet is basically giving you a set of, well, it seems like chores. So on the one hand, well, you've got the IBI Diplomatic Conference with the Alliance Exploration Initiative kicking off. And, well, you've got IBI nobility arriving on the station, which is a whole kettle of fish with a lot of, shall we say, local culture and history around that. And you've got Setsa, who, well, IBI was kind of raised in the sticks, focused on science, and then got involved in an interstellar plot that got her kicked off the homeworld. And, well, she's not necessarily, in this timeline, the one that is plugged into diplomacy, or at least major politics on FR. So she looks to you and says, well, I mean, I filled out all the briefs, but most of what Starfleet was, well, asking me, I wasn't able to give them much. Like, I knew pop culture, like, I knew what movies were coming out. I didn't pay attention to the news.
All right. Well, luckily that part isn't my issue. If you don't know, you don't know.
Okay. So, like, I know there's, like, 3 of the big families here, but, like, I know nothing about them. Like, nothing.
Then it shall be a learning experience.
Okay, good. Like, do I have to meet them, or...
You're going to meet them with me. You will serve as my aide de camp.
Alright. Are we, let's see. Well, you got Lady Taimon, who's, head of the Taimon family. Gorana, head of the Gorana family. And then Finaruga. I guess, like, Taimon's associated with the arts. Gorana is, like, you know, the big player. And then Vinaruga does a lot of industry.
Oh, see, and here you were saying you didn't know.
It's like nothing, though. It's like, who are these people? Like, what's their personality and history? How do you actually, like, get in with them? I don't know.
You still have helped me a bit. It's very
All right.
useful. It's more than what Starfleet gave me.
Really?
Yeah, literally nothing on them.
Oh.
Then again, most of it isn't going to be my problem. It's Mercer Station. It's mostly Mercer's problem, at least when it comes to hospitality.
Yeah, well, we're getting kind of pulled in to do, like, the meet and greets and, like, bring them over to the conference, so...
Well, yeah,
like,
of course we got to do that, but, like, having to deal with their day-to-day isn't our issue. That's what I'm getting
oh,
at.
yeah, thankfully. So, yeah, who's, like, well, who's doing the meet and greet? Like, it's us 2, but then, like, there's, like, 3 of these guys.
There's a creaking from the ceiling panels overhead.
Eli looks up.
There are ceiling panels overhead. One of them creaked.
Do I sense anything?
Yes, actually. I forgot you can do that.
Yes.
In that case, I'll just go ahead with the joke I was going to do in a few minutes, but I'll do it now. After a moment, the ceiling panel creaks again, and then falls down, and splat onto the middle of the ready room table falls Arrow, who stands up and dusts himself off and just says, "Sorry."
Hi, Arrow.
Was running wires, one of the only people small enough to get through all the areas. Unfortunately, that panel was never fastened correctly and did not hold my weight. I'm sorry, Captain.
I'm actually going to take a look up there. It's either, that wasn't done right in whenever the Reliant was made, or there's a secret up there.
In this case, it's probably because of another one of the things that just wasn't done right when the Reliant was made. Looking up there, there's just a lot of wires and cables that you can't really make sense of unless you do an engineering roll.
I mean, are we sure that Graves doesn't have a contraband stash up there?
Exactly.
I mean,
that's what I'm looking for. Is Duncan, speak up.
I'm not sure, but Arrow doesn't know.
Eli gets on he climbs onto the table and looks into the
Insight engineering.
inside. Well, I'm going to, of course, use my funny talent of I'm a doctor, not an engineer, which lets me use my medical instead.
Arrow can assist.
Arrow is busy taking the opportunity to climb up Eli to get back into the ceiling.
All right, he may do that. And I forgot to open up my drive. Give me a second. There we go. So you said insight?
Insight engineering,
insight.
that's what was said.
All right, and since I could use my medicine, so 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
One success. I mean, you notice a bunch of stuff up there. Could be some like smaller compartments, more like alcoves, just like bits extending to the dark, and maybe like a panel or two that looks a bit adrift. And then that super stands out.
After a moment, you also see a rat running along, trailing a wire behind him.
Okay.
Do you put your hand into the darkness beyond, or try one of the panels?
I'm going to. Well, first I'm going to look down and say to Setsa, "There's some stuff up here. I'm going to try fiddling with it. If I get shocked, don't call anyone. I'll get better."
Okay, duly noted.
All right. I'm going to try a panel first.
Let's see. Fitness engineering?
Fitness. Can I keep just using my medicine with the perk?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Because I only have a 1 in engineering.
I mean, it'd be funny.
It would be, but hey. Oh, hey, that was a crit.
Yeah, that wouldn't have mattered if you did it the other way around anyway.
2 successes. So the panel pops off, and in there you find a small case.
All right, I take the case.
It's a long case.
Okay, this is a pretty long case.
That's it. Looks up and says, okay, so that's probably Marcus's.
It's probably, what, a sword or something? Betleth?
Do you open the case?
Eli gets down and just, he hops off the table and directly into his chair, so he just hops and falls into his chair. And then, he puts the case on the table and opens it up.
Inside is a phaser rifle.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of disappointed, he says, looking up at Setsa.
Well, I mean, if there's ever a mutiny or something, you know where Marcus keeps his gun.
I mean, I know where I keep my gun.
Actually, that's a good question. Can I know?
Yeah, I keep it on me.
Oh.
And then I keep one under the desk. Probably gonna have to take that before Graves takes all this back. I keep a rifle in that cabinet over there. Got a couple in my room. That's not even counting the swords and stuff.
Yeah, like Marcus has got like swords, like that, like sword he got from the Noskians, like on his wall. But yeah,
my dad sent
not
me
a whole lot
bazooka.
else.
I don't know where to hide a bazooka.
I mean, put it on the wall. It's a conversation piece until needed.
God damn it. Sorry, I'm just looking in chat. I see the shotgun bed.
Yeah. So you do have the question of what to do about the 3 major VIPs that are on your primary list, as well as any other secondary VIPs that may come up as well. So
I'm gonna delegate a bit. I'm not using the comm badge. I'm using like the little laptop thing that all Starfleet offices have in the 24th and 25th. You know the one.
yeah.
And I'm gonna try calling Grawl.
Aye, sir.
Hey, you want to do some diplomacy?
I guess so, sir. I'm more of a scientist than a diplomat.
Well, you could do science too, I'm sure.
All right, I'll be right down.
All right, that's one person to help with the delegation. And do you have any recommendations that isn't Randolph P. Checkers?
Well, you've got John. He's generally pretty good with everyone. And then, I mean, Rick would probably be very diplomatic as well. Then there's Graves if we want him to suffer. But, yeah, I don't know how well that would actually turn out with Ilium installed.
What do you think about DB? Do you think DB could do this?
Yeah, he's been kind of like, I don't know. I haven't seen him around the lab. So he might be, busy with some research.
He can expand his horizons, get more used to the future.
Yeah. And, Well, you got Charg as well, but we've also got like those training simulations that we need to get done too.
Speaking of, that's why I can't, say I can't just delegate this to John because Checkers said something about training John.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Did you see
I
that
mean,
helmet
there's
you put John in?
the helmet.
You haven't seen the helmet.
No, I haven't seen the helmet. Like I've been trying to watch the Ibby news, and it has not gone well.
Give me a second. I'm trying to find a picture. It just imagine a tardigrade wearing this.
Oh. I mean,
I have a hard
hopefully he's
time
not
imagining
mistaken.
John not wearing that.
Pictured is a large. Well, Setsa says, I hope he's not mistaken for a trash can. That's big and cylindrical.
Yeah,
For anyone familiar, it's basically a picture of a neuro helmet from BattleTech.
one of the funny 80 ones, not like the newer ones that are just a helicopter pilot helmet. Haha.
It looks like something MODOK would wear.
Yeah, you're right. It does look like MODOK.
That's what I thought it was at first. I thought it was a joke, and then it's like, wait a minute.
No, that's canon.
Oh yeah, I know now, but when I first saw it, like way back. But yeah, John has been wearing one. So anyway, though yeah, and then you've got Faberry, you've got the trio, you've got Erton, you've got Ryuji, you've got Bryce, got Ged.
Oh God, don't send Ged.
Not good, not good. Hold on a second. Okay, so tell me about the families again. You said there was a engineering one or manufacturing, something like that.
Yeah, that's like the Vinaruga. There's like, industrialist might be the word. It's just involved in a lot of
Industrialist,
products.
Okay, so if we get Rick might be good to assign to them.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And the other two?
Like Garana is like the political muscle. He might be involved in the military.
Okay,
Hard to tell.
We'll take that one.
All right, and then Taimon has like arts and stuff. Maybe Grawl.
Okay, yeah, Grawl would be perfect for that because I believe he does xenoanthropology, and that kind of counts.
Yeah,
It's studying cultures. He can study a culture. It's just living, not dead.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. And then like for secondary families, there's there's Utara, which is that actually might be a good one for Rick because they're more like involved in ships and like shipyards.
Okay, then who should we assign the industrialist to?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, John's busy.
Yeah, John's busy.
Erton.
All right.
He knows how to deal with
engineering
him.
experience.
If he is willing, then Erden might be good with them. We'll call up Erden now. He uses the laptop again. He realizes he didn't hang up with Grawl.
Well, after you do hang up and call Erton, there's a long pause and a slurping noise. And then finally oh wait, the thing is beeping. Hey.
Hello, would you be interested in doing some work?
There's more slurping. Yeah, I guess so. I was just having lunch, but I can go do a thing. What do you need me to do?
It's not immediate, but just some little bit of diplomatic hobnobbery with some of the Ibby coming in.
Okay. Ibby, that's Setsa's species, right?
Yeah,
and
Setsa.
Kara?
Would you like to say more, Setsa?
Well, these are nobility people coming in for like high-profile diplomatic negotiations with the rest of the growing alliance. So, yeah, I think generally okay. Just don't squish them too hard. I mean, us Ibby aren't too durable.
Oh man, nobility. That means people with big egos and short tempers.
Yeah, but maybe
They're
you can get.
industrialists.
Yeah, maybe you can get business contacts and feed those over to Pim and make them his problem.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the best idea. Okay, I'm pretty easygoing. I can babysit for you. Maybe they'll just end up asking about Trident a bunch.
Can only hope.
All right.
With that settled, thank you. We'll talk to you. We'll send you the instructions when we get everything sorted. So that's anyone else that we have to worry about? Any other noble families or people? Or
No, I think it's just those 4.
Did you remember to hang up this time?
yes, I have remembered to hang up this time.
Otherwise, there was going to be more slurping.
What is he eating? I need to know.
Noodles.
Yeah, I figured. But where is he eating? Is he eating at the ramen place? Is he eating at
He's probably at the
Italian?
ramen place.
Okay.
So, like, this entire conversation was basically public.
It's as long as no Ibby diplomats were just sitting next to him, it's fine. Oh no. I don't like the laugh.
All right.
Alright, I think we have everything sorted, Setsa, and you said there was something else that was going on too?
Yeah, like, well, I mean, it's kind of been going around the fleet, but, the whole DS9 being taken over by the Jem'Hadar, they're starting to actually put a task force together, and, yeah, we're, having to put in training simulations to see where we stack up in a potential rescue operation. So, yeah, that's going on right now, too.
Oh, dang it. That actually sounds like the fun stuff.
Well, if we get through this all right, maybe we can have our turn.
Yeah, it would probably be multiple rounds. Let's put Chorog in charge of that. Sound like a good idea?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright. Chorog will be in charge of that, and he'll assemble all the team that he needs. Is this ship readiness, or is this like on the ground?
Yeah, it's like hypothetical, like, how would you do if you had to, like, help participate in, like, the direct recovery operation? Like, Graves was really excited about it, but he's been kind of sidelined. Like, he tried to get to the holodeck and do it, but they wouldn't authorize him to actually do the simulation, so
Yeah, he's still technically
moping
on
right
leave,
now.
yeah. I imagine he'd be moping. Do you just want to put a fake mustache on him and say he's just some random ensign?
No, the computer's wise to that, I think.
Damn it. Since when? That always used to work.
Since Ross came in and, like, updated the fleet security protocols. That's what he used to do, except he would just add more mustache.
What if we add even more mustache that he wouldn't expect it?
No, I think it's fine. So,
Okay.
so with that, you've got your you've got your assignments all set, and folks are more or less on track for what to do in the coming days' activities. Chorog,
I will say that Urton, not being the brightest one, spends most of his time mostly at the docking bay just holding up a sign that says Vinaroga for the next couple days.
Just as people start filing out of the ready room, Rick is sort of like has found his way to one of the open panels and he's testing some wires there, apparently oblivious to the conversation that was just happening in the next room over.
Wait, how many people were in my ready room? I thought it was just Setsa.
great. Rick can be on the bridge.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was on the bridge.
Okay. Well, I guess we gotta tell Rick that we're giving him a job. So,
Hey.
okay, you're gonna do it.
Okay. Well, hey Rick. Want to do diplomacy?
He sort of looks up and looks down, looks up again. Well, I think I've been seeing wires in my dreams. It's perhaps a good time to take a break from looking over all this.
Yeah, we've got like a bunch of IBI VIPs coming in for the AEI conference, and I think there's a good one for you. Arakian Otara, she's checking a datapad. He does ship stuff.
Oh, as in like shipyards, manufacturing.
Probably.
Oh.
She looks around and says, "Well, yeah, we actually don't have a lot of information on the IBS. Not very helpful at bringing in like actual intel, like on backroom dealings. So we're kind of doing a little bit of a first like run through. Well, basic politics. I mean, I could have gotten to like dossiers from Vela, but don't want to ask.
Well, we'll see what is available on the Federation net. Then maybe I'll be able to access the EB network.
That you may.
All right.
Setsa nods and says, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna go get changed and prep with Eli to meet Lord Garana."
All right. I'll see what I can do about personal profiles.
All right, cool. And with that, we cut over to Chorog.
Now, Chorog's been in his quarters kind of studying different manuals and whatnot when he gets the briefing that he's going to be leading a security team to retake DS9.
Yeah, so you've got basically, well, it's not quite a fleet-wide competition, but that's effectively what it's shaping out to be. The USS Reliant is, well, at best you're on tertiary support duty, but at the same time, well, one thing leads to another, and you could be assisting the station infiltration team. So you are having to put together that crew, that plan of attack, that action. So you kind of need to cover your bases between, say, engineering to take care of station security systems. You need your tactical people and your ground combat people. So, and potentially medics as well.
Chorog begins going through the roster, and well, Urton's good in a fight. He's proved that, so he's going to definitely tag Urton for this.
Oh, dear God.
Except Urton has just been assigned to another task. Oh!
More to the point, Urton is only good at fighting because he goes absolutely berserk and nearly dies.
Still good in a fight.
Oh, God.
The care shown to a good friend.
Unfortunately, Urton is going to be busy today.
Chorog also considers bringing in the checkers, because he knows how they are.
I mean, there's only one right now. The other is still on, whatchamacallit. He's still in Trident.
Oh, yeah, we love it. Yeah.
So
And the other checkers is busy. He's teaching John to be his squire.
Checkers is setting up his own trade empire.
One of them is.
Yeah. The one that's training John to be a squire, I mean, that could potentially play into stuff later, but yeah, for right now, John and Checkers Alpha are busy. You do have Bryce, you have the Vanessa, you've got let's see who
The trio
else?
is available.
The trio. Brickor.
Chorog does have his ratkin that he trained as a security force.
This is true. You could get Defender East and the station security to be assigned to you for the mission as well. Or at least to, be Op 4.
Well, they're small. They can get into tight places and get through things.
Okay, you can call on them if you want.
So Chorog is definitely going to. So Chorog has decided to. He's gonna enlist his Ratkin trainees that he personally trained to be a lethal fighting force.
Defender East, who used to be head of station security and now isn't with the incoming flux of Starfleet personnel, just sends back that they are perfectly ready to go ahead and take on this role. They'll have all their men ready and they'll meet you at the holodeck.
So let's see. Chorog is he needs a medic. Trying to think Chorog's looking at who is he going to tap for his team medic?
Well, there's Ged.
Chorog taps on his coat. Chorog to Ged, are you busy?
No, I'm not busy. That's why I'm on the duty roster. I take this time to just drink all day.
Well, come drink on the holodeck when I want you for my team.
Does that mean I get to shoot someone?
Shoot someone, heal someone, break someone's neck? Sure, why not?
Oh, no, this sounds like fun. I'll be there.
Medic? Check. Now he needs an engineer.
That probably would be the trio.
I thought the trio was the security force.
No, the security force is the people on the station. The trio are Jess, Aro, and Neen. Neen was the one who just fell through the ceiling a minute ago. They're not trained for tactical operations. They're not part of station security.
If you need someone for tactical, like you for ship piloting, there's Faberi, and then Ryuji, the Kitsune swordsman they brought back from Trident. He is also available.
Katarkin versus Katana.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take our resident sword expert. And for engineer, let's do who's available. Someone I can trust.
The trio, most everyone in engineering. It just depends on who you want. Maybe you could grab, I think Bailey is the one on the station.
On the station, it's Dagon, who's
Dagon.
a character of he's a character of Drogon 1701, which is would be hilarious. He's a if memory serves, he is a Zindi primate engineer.
Must resist
Zindi
monkey
humanoid.
joke.
See, for engineering, Charles going to tap the trio. He knows he could do. He knows they could work pretty good with him. He's got his station security force that he trained personally. He's got the big sword guy.
Pilot.
And for pilot, let's do
Faberi.
Faberi for the pilot. He thinks Faberi could definitely handle his shuttle.
I'm just laughing because I have this image of Faberi docks the shuttle and then just decides to get out and join the ground team.
Well, Charles sends everybody their instruction to meet him on the holodeck for a training session.
From all the Ratkin, you get various, responses of okay, and they will, they all agree to the time listed.
Ryuji doesn't know how to text yet.
Barry gives an affirmative through the text.
Ryuji tries speaking back into the data pad before heading off.
No, I just have this image that after a few minutes, John just appears in a flash of blue and holds out, an elaborate piece of scroll work for Chorog that is Ryuji's ascent.
Yes.
Yes.
Charles, look, okay. I'll take that as a yes.
John formally bows and Spore jumps off.
Okay, that was weird. So Chorog has his team that he has to whip into a cohesive fighting force, but he's going to do it the Federation way and not so much the old way.
So you're able to meet your group down by the holodeck.
And, for my side, Defender East is there along with a group of about 15 Riotheans, all wielding shock rifles and wearing light armor. The trio are off to the side with just their sort of Starfleet uniforms and their hand phasers. They look like they'd probably prefer not to fight, but they're carrying toolkits and they're very small and can get into strange places.
All right, I got you guys here because I am going to train you guys for infiltration. You're going to be my team to take on. We're going to take on DS9 and the Jemadar. I fought the Jemadar before. They are not to be misrepresented. These guys are tough.
All the Ratkin nod in a serious fashion.
So I'm going to start with a very light simulation. Just a couple of Jemadar to get you guys used to what's going to be like fighting these guys. These guys are genetically bred to fight. These guys do not know fear. These guys will not retreat. These guys will just keep coming.
Oh, hold on. Quick DM note. For the training simulation, there's actually a formalized training exercise already set that would make use of the spread of skills that you have available. So not just fighting, but also infiltration across the hull of DS9 with EV suits.
I mean, this is true. On the other hand, most of these people haven't seen a Jem'Hadar, so starting off with just a couple of those is not a bad idea.
Oh, yeah. You said EV suit on DS9. I'm getting nothing but Kurland here.
That is the point. Yes.
Yes, that is the point we're referencing. So they're having to go through a holodeck simulation of that plan. So, so you can start off with the Jem'Hadar, but just kind of keep in mind that you are working up to that full evaluation.
All right.
Which will be scored.
All right. Ratkin, we're going to train you guys. I'm going to train with you guys a little bit first on how to take on these Jem'Hadar. Don't let them scare you. These guys are big, mean, ugly, and they will not stop coming. Computer, initiate program Chorog Jem'Hadar 1.
The holodeck complies.
Trog and the Ratkin walk in. Gents, meet the Jemadar.
The Ratkin all look up at their opponents, which they have to do because the Jem'Hadar are much larger than them. So they're blue.
Yes, they're blue, they're scaly, they're mean, and these guys do not know fear.
So the scales, does that resist electrical attack?
They are somewhat resistant to it, but not completely. It has to be a very high voltage to affect them.
Defender
Now-
East nods and just kind of says, would you prefer that we used phaser rifles for this exchange then?
Yes, phaser rifles would be far more effective against the Jemadar. These phaser rifles can kill them.
East nods and the group of Ryothans basically just put down their shock rifles and go over to a sort of holographic, armory and arm themselves with phaser rifles.
Ryuji slowly raising his hand.
Yes, Ryuji.
He's got a sword in his hand, and he just gestures his head to the sword.
Before we begin, let me point out some weak points in the Jemadar armor. Trog walks over and points to armpits, neck area, and center mass chest. These are your best bets for a kill shot.
It
East
barely
just kind
looks
of-
like they're wearing armor.
I was about to say, East cocks his head. They don't armor their chest? That seems kind of dumb.
These guys are built in mass batches. These guys, they will be sent in waves. So armor is not exactly the point. Overwhelming the opponent is the point.
East
Also,
nods and just says, wait, so if they're all bred and trained for combat, are they also trained in other specialities? Could we use this lack of knowledge against them?
they are trained in various other categories. These guys do know engineering. These guys are fairly decent with science. Also, keep in mind these guys have a built-in phase cloak. However, if their phase stops working, should this drug they are on, which controls them, run out. It's called Ketracel White. Troag points to the tubes going into the Jemadar's neck. This is the way the founders control them.
The Ratkin actually all look up and say, cloaking will not make a difference to us. We will be able to sense their presence.
Hey, let's see what you guys got. Computer, initiate program, easy difficulty.
All right, let's just do a quick opposed roll. I will roll for the Ratkin, and you roll for the Jem'Hadar.
All right, what am I rolling?
Whatever you think the Jem'Hadar would have as their number.
Let me look at my sheet here.
On easy difficulty, 13 to 14 would be a reasonable range.
That said, I think they're about to get their asses kicked because the trio just rolled, or the Ratkin security team just rolled a 1 and a 10 for a total of 3 successes.
All right, and I am going to roll a fitness command.
2 successes.
Yeah, it starts off as a relatively even fight, but the fact of the matter is that the Jem'Hadar, even with all their training, are not used to dealing with such small opponents, and the Ratkin continually manage to slip out of their aim spots or underneath the Katarkan blades and just fire up at them and disable them.
Not bad at all. Ryuji's the one with the blade, right?
Yes. He's got the big Nodachi.
All right, Ryuji. Let's see your blade versus their blade. Computer, initiate Jem'Hadar program. Trog, Alpha 1, Kartakan 1. Computer beeps, and another larger Jem'Hadar spawns in, wielding a Kartakan. This is the Kartakan. This is their blade of choice. You know, most Klingons prefer a batleth. This is their blade. Ryuji, let's see what you got.
He nods and draws his sword, taking it in both hands, and ready to fight.
Control security on this.
If it's combat, it'd be daring security.
What's my value?
Control is for shooting.
Okay. Daring. Okay.
1 success for the Jem'Hadar.
Give me a second.
Yeah, okay. I'll let Eli narrate this, but my immediate thought is like literally there's a split second and then there's just a head on the ground.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say.
Well, okay then. Let's ramp up the difficulty. Computer, initiate difficulty level hard.
So I do want to step in just to make sure we get through everything tonight. And the training simulations will progress, but we want to step in real quick with Daniel.
Daniel has, quote-unquote, volunteered to help with the refit, and is busying himself carrying machinery throughout the ship to key locations and installing things.
Give me a control engineering role.
Would metalworking or integrating technology be applied?
Integrating
Or-
technology certainly would be, and
Okay.
metalworking probably. So you're covered.
Okay. Alright. 2 successes.
2 successes, and with that, you're able to successfully install what you intend to install without any major consequences.
Something tells me that installation wasn't on the work order.
Perhaps not.
It may or may not be mostly focused on Daniel's room, the half deck, and various areas between those 2 locations.
And the camera pans over to the cargo bay, where we have Checkers and John.
Very good, very good.
Okay, so like, I turn this way, and then I turn this way.
Yes, think of it
And-
like a tank.
Yeah, big
Top down.
stumpy tank.
Big stompy tank, yes. You gotta remember there are crunchies, and you can squish them. That is encouraged.
I see.
But not here.
How do I make pew pew?
Well, this is why we're in a cargo bay. Aim outside past the force field that keeps all the air in, even though that wouldn't matter to us right now inside here. This thing is sealed. It can go in space. Let's not test that.
Yeah.
Anyway, take aim, and you could just alpha strike right outside. Fuck it.
Yeah. So with that, John, piloting the urban mech that they picked up from Trident, opens fire.
Is there anything outside? Okay, there's
2
no...
successes. So yeah, they basically just fire the fire an AC just out the back hall of Reliant. It just the shell just goes off into space, and eventually will meet the gravity well of one of the planets in the system and just burn up safely.
Sir Isaac Newton is one of the deadliest son of bitches in space.
Exactly, I was about to say that.
And, there's also, it's an alpha strike, so that fires all the phasers that he's rigged up to it, and that's a lot of phasers. That's too many phasers. Why do you have so many phasers strapped to that?
John's like, it's overheating!
No, it's fine.
Hey, push button.
I was
Yeah,
about to
you
say, Checkers says it's fine, and he's probably making coffee on top of one of the consoles.
He is.
Our message.
So are any of the delegates' ships outside by now?
Yeah, they're outside, but no one really notices that. Like, the firing test just looks like a standard weapons test with the phasers. Like, they don't really notice that something's amiss. And it's like, wait, why is it coming out of the back of a cargo bay?
Okay.
Fuck, I can't find the gift that I was looking for.
But with that, we continue panning around, and, well, one of the IBI ships is coming into dock with VIPs on board. So before we get to that, let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break and kick up with the diplomacy afterwards.
I found it.
A little bit of wait as the docking systems integrate and all the checks go through just to make sure no one is accidentally spaced at this important moment. And yeah, a major reception begins to walk down the major plank to some considerable interest, considering the EB are hoping to be a major player, and Starfleet apparently doesn't know much about them. Rick, I will have you do a science reason roll for what you were able to find out from your search of Starfleet records and the IBI archives.
Okay, science is not my best, but I will give it a try. Is it reason, right?
Yep. I'm going to spend 2 threat, too.
I take it computers would. Oh, sorry, no, that's different character. Yeah, I don't have a focus for this. 1 success.
And no complications. You're able to find a little bit of information from, like, the initial, like, of, like, assorted miscellaneous diplomatic briefings, the initial first contact records, but, I mean, the EB have kind of passed by Federation notice for a long time. They have a built-up interstellar navy, but at the same time, they're not involved in any major conflicts. So that basically has meant that they haven't had threat evaluation reports and other major, well, diplomatic logs that might accompany much more unstable power, or one involved more heavily with the Klingons, the Romulans, Cardassians, Breen, or so on. The AB have mainly kept to themselves, operating a sensible interstellar trade network. They've got a few colonies. And as far as their government is concerned, they have the major administration handling the major governmental stuff. You've got a democratic assembly interfacing that with the populace. And then you've got these noble families who have opinions. And that is more or less all you know.
Alright, so nothing particularly helpful.
Not in the particulars, no. I mean, the nobles go back a long ways. Each of the families that you're meeting with, apart from the Ataras, are very storied, but you basically have a few notes here or there about, the overall structure of the nobility in terms of houses, but no one's really done an analytical deep dive into this structure within the Federation. And then the IBI logs were able to give you anything really. You got mostly stonewalled by needing to authorize access from to basically get a login set up for you, but that didn't come through in time to do this meeting.
Alrighty. So I'll just sort of provide additional sort of background by what I was able to pull up to everyone else, and then just wait ready for DB to arrive.
I was about to say, just for the record, Urton has done absolutely no prep and has mostly just spent the last couple days with his Veneroga sign waiting at the docking area.
Urton, you see a young prim Ibby in a black suit with a, red Terran-style tie hop over and say cheerily to you, hello there, are you looking for me?
Probably, if your name is Veneroga.
Yes, I'm Saren Veneruga. Saren. Pleasure to meet you. I am a new lord, and I greet you. He looks over to some of the senior nobles who don't look at him, and he looks back to Urton and says, I greet you in hospitality and kindness?
Cool. Urton focuses all 4 eyes on him and just says, I'm Urton, and I'm from Trident, and I've been assigned to be your guide and general buddy for your stay.
Oh, most excellent. So, yeah, we've got to get to the conference, right?
Urton would know the schedule. Is there a conference that's about to happen, or is this, is he...
Yeah, so they're basically going to be, going to you're escorting them to a major, conference room. It's kind of in one of the lecture halls on Starbase Magellan. So it's a major ceremony event, and you're getting them from A to B.
Gotcha. Yeah, we've got a whole big thing over at the conference room. It's gonna be this big deal where they do the ceremony and the meet and greet, and everybody smiles for the holo cameras.
Yes, I see. So can we take a long way around?
Yeah, so long as we're not late, I don't think anybody will care. I know a good ramen place.
Excellent. Sounds wonderful.
Cool. I'll show you the sieves.
All right. They head over to sieves. Meanwhile, you have 3 other notable Ibby heading down. Setsa pipes up and says, the lady in the back, that's Lady Timon. The man in the flowing purple robe, I think that's Garana, and then the younger guy, has to be Otara. He's saying this to sort of the assembled crew and Eli.
Arakian Otara is indeed the last person there, and he's a dark-skinned Ibi, probably about as young as Veneroga, if not younger. And he's also wearing basically a Terran business suit. Or human, if you, Earth business suit, if you get really, into whether or not something is truly Terran.
Human business suit. So, Eli, you've got the other nobles who are coming down more formally, besides Veneruga, who kind of skived off to the side.
Admittedly, Veneroga was the only one who had a guy holding a sign for him.
She's like, "Oh, I'm going that way."
All right, welcome, assembled nobility of the Ibi. Crap, I was out of character. What was the Ibi
Assembly.
The assembly.
Okay, of the nobles of the Ibi assembly.
The man in the purple suit steps forward. He is a rather old-looking Ibi, solid gray hair with a little bit of black up top still. Looks over to Eli and gives a formal bow with a strange twist of the shoulders and says, "Yes, I'm Lord Hashgarana. We thank you for holding this conference here and for giving us the opportunity to potentially join in some mighty fine exploration efforts."
Of course, it's an honor.
The woman steps up a bit peevishly and says, Yes. Well, I mean, it's a group effort, and the Ibi are most certainly willing to step beyond our little, social circles and, take part in this. I am Lady Yelnes Timon, and yes, we thank you.
And the man in the dark suit simply steps forward and says, Arakian Otara. And then he stops himself for a minute and says, Lord Otara. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I run most of the Otara shipyards that have recently been built over Ifar.
Very good. I am acting captain Dr. Eli O'Connor.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Captain.
Setsa is kind of hiding behind Eli.
Eli's letting her hide behind him.
Otara notices a pair of Ibi ears that are just slightly sticking out the sides of Eli's head because of the way that, she can't quite hide behind him entirely, but he doesn't say anything.
Garana is quite curious, and Lady Timon is starting to edge around to look around Eli.
Anyway, we have this conference. He's trying to he's moving so he's covering Setsa, so we can just he's gesturing let us continue.
Yes, very good. So,
of course, Captain.
Rick,
you lead the way, says Otara.
Yeah. So, Rick, you have the opportunity of escorting Otara, and then who do we have escorting Timon? Oh, yeah, that's right. Grawl is also here.
Yes. Who am I escorting again?
The Lady Timon, if you're asking out of character. If you're asking in character, someone will have to answer for you.
I was asking in character.
Setsa leans over, Setsa can't lean over and whisper, so Eli, that would be your job to answer. Eli?
Mr. O'Connor, have we lost the captain?
He might be...
I was muted. Yes, Eli leans over and he whispers it, because I totally remember what the name was, but I'm...
Lady Timon.
Yeah, Lady Timon.
Setsa has to do a roll now.
Me saying that was out of character, though, and forgetting. So,
one success. Setsa is barely able to keep relative track with Eli leading over. She does not fall over, but she is also not terribly convincing that no one is there.
Eli, you can tell that Otara is suppressing a laugh.
At least she didn't get trampled.
So, as the group moves on, Lady Timon starts to wander off from the main group, kind of just taking a broad look around the promenade as they exit from the docking area.
Okay.
So, Grawl, your VIP is starting to wander away from the tour.
Yeah, ma'am, this way, please.
So as that starts to happen, there's a bunch of press that starts to sort of gather around. And, various members of the Federation News Network, well, apparently have their sources a little bit better than Starfleet at the moment and start, excitedly yelling, Lady Tamon, FNN here, would you mind? And you just have this, competing throng of press starting to form around Lady Tamon and Grawl.
I'm a scientist and I'm short. I don't know what I'm doing. Please, Lady Timon, this way.
Let's go ahead and do a command control roll. Just to see if you're able to get her attention and persuade her to move. One success. Lady Timon looks down and says, "Oh, yes, and she simultaneously tries to answer a few questions and move at the same time, kind of bringing the throng along with. At this point, you see this throng moving towards the main group, Eli. You can assist if desired.
What would I have to do to assist that?
Authoritative voice. That would be presence. Let's see.
Presence command.
Presence command would be the one. Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. Presence. Okay, command. Okay, yeah, no, I can do this.
Can Rick also assist if required?
Yeah, you can kind of be a little bit more forward and just sort of step in and just sort of ease Grawl and Lady Timon out of the group as well.
Meanwhile, Grawl is just furling his front wings and saying this way, and trying to gesture the much taller people all around him out of the way.
Control security for Rick.
Okay, so I rolled a 1, but fuck, I don't have a focus that would get me that crit because it would be a 5.
No,
okay, question.
Yeah.
We're waiting on Rick's roll, so don't worry.
I know this is a stretch, but I'm a doctor. Can I trauma surgery? Can just use my doctor voice of hey.
I've got to do one dice, but that's
So, one success from Rick and one success from Eli.
So between the two of you together, you're able to basically get the group's attention and also extricate your VIP and science officer from the group. The press is very excited and parks a few questions at the group. But you're on a timetable, so you're able to politely excuse yourself and sort of defer question time to after the conference or after the main ceremony. And with that, the group is able to proceed into the turbo lift, where Sets is able to, from behind Eli, is able to punch in where they need to go, and the turbo lift starts to roll around.
At this, Atara cannot help himself and simply smiles and says, "Captain O'Connor, you seem to have grown an extra arm."
I have?
He gestures to where Sets' arm is pointing out from behind him and hitting the panel.
Ah, I see. Don't worry about it. These things happen.
As you say,
Eli.
Captain.
Eli, you notice that Lord Garana is effectively just looking at you silently.
Can I use my empathy?
Yes.
I'm going to empathy. I empathize.
Presence command.
All right.
Or medical command. Medical presence.
It would... I'm going to do presence and command for the worst roll.
Yeah.
No, okay, so you said presence and...
Presence medical. Basically using your empathic powers and trying to get a psychological read on him.
I mean, it'd be 5 either way because I got a 5 in medicine and a 5 in command. Okay, so presence... 20, 14... Voice.
2 successes. So with that, you're able to kind of get a feel that he's sizing you up, but not necessarily as your immediate impression is that he's not sizing you up as an officer. He's sizing you up like a fighter or a warrior.
Oh crap! I gotta make myself more warrior-like. Shit.
Okay. So are you going to basically try to adjust your posture?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a control security roll.
I'm ready for this one to go bad since everything else has gone just alright. So security presence, that's
Control security.
Or control security. Oh, control security. That's even better.
Yeah.
So that's 11, 12, 13.
Single success.
Just one success. Yeah. So
No
you're able to
crit.
cut. Yeah. So you're able to basically not completely flip it, but Garana just continues to stare silently at you, just like normally elevator manners. Everyone stares at the door, but he's just staring at you.
I'm going to stare at him back and just give him a nod.
The elevator.
See, what you should do is you should T-pose to assert dominance.
I'm going to honor my set. No, I'm kidding. No.
All right, so the elevator ride proceeds, and the turbo lift stops at the top deck, and everyone is just able to start filing out. Do you remain eyes locked on Garana?
Yeah, no. I was about to say, yeah, I'm gonna walk backwards and just keep my eye out now. I'm gonna
and squish Setsa.
Okay. Anyway, I'm leading the way. I gotta lead the way.
All right.
Okay, so as you lead the way, what does Setsa do now that Eli is walking in front?
He was
That's
already
a good
walking
question.
in front.
She can try to slip around the corner, but let's go ahead that be another roll for her. One success. Everyone's just doing okay tonight, so she's able to just sort of squeak around the corner and wait effectively in the I want to call it the archway, but basically next to the turbo lift until everyone is gone by, and then just kind of follow behind Rick.
After a moment, Setsa is walking along behind Rick. There's a tap on her shoulder.
Setsa eeps.
Atara's voice comes. Apologies, I did not mean to startle you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to stay out of the way.
Atara grins. Any particular reason you're trying so hard to stay out of the way?
Well, let's put it this way. I am kind of the Ibby equivalent of a street urchin. I was raised by the Ikfen in just, boarding school after boarding school, and, I just don't feel like I should be here. I'm here because I'm Ibby, but I don't really have anything to offer.
I see. Does that have anything to do with your, shall we say, striking appearance?
She starts to blush. I just tried to look nice.
Okay, in this case, she is still, based on Vilya, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. So she is still,
Okay, so that's what he meant, but apparently that's not what she took away from that. Which is even better.
So they're sort of falling behind the group, but one thing to note, Ayrton, you took Vinaroga to ramen.
Yeah, to Siv's sushi place.
Yeah. So Vinaroga is in no hurry to catch back up with the main group. You just sort of continue chilling there?
I mean, yeah, until they have to leave. If, his, buddy doesn't want to go anywhere, then, it's fine. So long as they're there on time, the rest of it doesn't matter.
All right, well, they're just, going to be there for a while. As Saren doesn't really have any, unless someone comes and get him, he will not go to the meeting.
Oh, Erton will make sure he goes to the meeting, but they'll probably show up, 1 minute before it starts.
Okay. So, so that'll happen. And the rest of the group, though, you've successfully managed to get your VIPs to the main reception lobby, where Captain Mercer is waiting, as well as a bunch of the Federation bigwigs. You've got Admiral Ross and Master Sugahara, and a bunch of dignitaries from the Romulan Republic and various other Federation powers. And it's starting to get quite formal as the Yibby group arrives. Eli,
Go ahead.
Eli, you're leading the way as well.
Yes, I am. I am. But
So,
anyway, I lead him inside. I get him to sit down.
all right, they take their seats, and at that point, you guys are basically discharged of your main duty. Grana looks to Eli and just gives a curt nod and says, "Thank you kindly."
Eli also sits down. I am also part of this meeting, so yeah.
Yeah.
Setsa can sit next to me.
That's it. He's looking around, looks to Grawl.
Grawl just shrugs.
Setsa puts Grawl next to Eli.
I need my aide de camp.
Setsa sighs, sits next to Eli, and puts Grawl on her lap. Grawl
Grawl
provides
just-
some cover.
You would think that this is the least professional thing that has happened. But as Captain Mercer clears his throat and gets ready to talk, the door opens again, and in waddles Urton with Saren behind him.
Saren still has a bowl of ramen.
Urton just kind of, points at a chair for Saren and then just leans against the wall. And to all appearances, Urton just immediately falls asleep, leaning against the wall.
All right, and the main diplomatic conference begins. Let's cut back quickly to Daniel.
So Daniel is, he's wrapping up the reinstallation of his project in his closet. But then we jump over to someone in a nearby Jeffries tube working on something as part of the I'm blanking on the word for what people were
Retrofit.
Yeah.
Refit.
They're working on something in a nearby Jeffries tube as part of the retrofitting and stuff. And something actually goes wrong with what they're doing, and there's a sudden power surge. And as Daniel is connecting something over in his room, suddenly his project starts sparking and starts powering on and off rapidly, and he panics and starts hurrying to turn it off and fix and prevent anything damage from happening. And after a panicked minute or so of just trying to not let this thing destroy itself, he manages to get it under control. Everything's fine. He's checking to make sure nothing's been scorched or whatever. And relieved, he connects the last couple things and closes the closet door, but the camera stays in the closet and pans down to a single loose wire dangling hidden behind something, so that which is why Daniel didn't notice. Some ominous music plays, and then the camera cuts away.
Very good. And let's cut over to the holodeck, where we have the training simulation going on for retaking DS9.
Mechanically, by now, the Riothans have especially got good at this, and they now have the focus of Giant Killer. The Riothans now can get a bonus to their crit ability anytime they're fighting someone bigger than them.
Karog is well pleased with their combat performance fighting the Jemadar. Now he's going to train them in infiltration. Just fighting the Jemadar is just part of what we're doing. Next big part of what we're doing is infiltration. Getting into tight places to get us in. That's where your Riothans are going to come in. I'm going to train you guys to be the sneakiest of the sneakiest.
And as Chorog is saying this, the holodeck, shifts to being the outside of, the DS9 space station, and everybody is given an appropriate, environment suit.
Welcome to hell.
Ryuji's looking down. He looks back at his tails.
All of the tails have their own little individual sleeves in the spacesuit.
Oh, thank God. I thought they all be bundled up.
Nope. So this begins the training simulation proper. This is what Starfleet is using to evaluate the combat potential of various crews to kind of just have data on, what their combat capabilities are across the fleet. So starting off, we're going to have Faberi do a piloting role to get the crew in range. And we're going to be following that with EV orientation checks. So that'll be the first exercise, and that's just basically, can you utilize the EV suit to not float off into space?
Okay,
So what's Faberry's piloting check?
Daring.
That does sound like
Con-
that sounds like Faberry, from what I understand.
Yeah. So Faberry is given control of the shuttle and does a reasonably good job of pulling it in through simulated fire. It's quite a bit bumpy, and they may take a glancing Polaron beam shot, but Faberry is able to get the shuttle into position without immediately getting destroyed and restarting the simulation.
only a few scratches.
The trio joke and say, "Yeah, we had a whole 3 centimeters to spare, passing that pylon."
And with that, the shuttle lands, opens up, and, well, the various peoples are able to get out onto the station, which requires you can do a group piloting check or group EV suit check for the Ryuthean security detail, and then for the trio. And then just for every other member of the crew that is accompanying.
Yeah, we could do that. Make sure everyone's comfortable with their EV suits and not like totally losing their lunch just walking on the hall.
The Ryuthean security team managed pretty well, but the trio in particular just scurry out and basically are they're clearly comfortable in zero G and in the environment suits, probably due to their origins on a space station.
All right, now that we're out on the exterior hall, first thing we are going to need to do is bypass internal sensors. There's 3 points we're going to have to bypass that at. Engineering team, this is where you come in.
Oh, good. There's 3 of us. We can bypass all 3 at once.
Not that simple.
Oh?
This is, well, you fail to realize this is a Cardassian space station that the Federation just happened to take over and update, but it's still Cardassian-based systems. Each system is tied into one another. You need 3 people to operate each bypass.
Well, the trio look ready, and they lock onto the navigation beacon, and they're like, "Okay, just give us a minute."
The group, proceeds to go towards the navigation beacons. So,
Wow, that could have been a lot better. For bypassing the sensors, the trio get 1 success. I'm going to say that they're doing fine with the systems, but the navigation beacons they're having a little trouble with.
Ryuji, do you help them?
He does not know engineering.
Well, get them towards the beacon.
Oh, okay. What do I
Yeah,
get
you
to
can
do
help
with
them with the EV suit. Let's go ahead and do control security.
Control security?
Ryuji just picks them up and tosses them.
It might end up just being that. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I don't know if any of the focuses would help, but that would be 3 successes if one of them does.
I was about to say, it's probably an assist, so it's probably just the third die, which is a success.
Charles can lend a focus with information hacking.
I thought I was just throwing them over there.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Oh.
So, you can basically give them a little bit of a push and guiding hand and get the trio to the first isolinear panel with quite a bit of ease.
Once they finally arrive, bypassing it takes almost no time at all.
Charles is watching on his tricorder as they skillfully execute the bypasses. I'm impressed. You're doing good with the old Cardassian technology. If the Cardassians did anything well, they knew how to overwork a system.
Kind of reminds us of the systems at the place where we were born.
Cardassians are pretty much renowned for they're known for their security systems. They know a security system backwards and forwards, and they construct some very complex systems. Not impossible to hack, just very difficult. We've bypassed this internal sensor cluster. Move on to the next.
All right. Do we want to do rolls for all these clusters, or do we just want to call that for all 3 of them, Duncan?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and...
Yeah, for the sake of time, let's just do all 3.
Yeah, all 3 in one.
Okay.
Also, I'm thinking for proper development, bringing these 2 arcs together, we're going to make this a 2-parter.
Yeah, I kind of figured we were heading in that direction.
Yeah. I mean, I could technically end it, but I want to bring the convergence together, and what Daniel did sets that up pretty well. So we're just going to go through this and find a good spot to do our, basically a until next time. So anyway.
Yeah, because I kind of want to have a thing where they have to outsmart a Cardassian anti-personnel intrusion system.
Yeah, that was also shaping up to be a good element too.
Also,
Also,
in that case, why don't we just go ahead and do the rolls for all 3, and if anything happens, then we'll take it.
Now let's do the sensors, and then have them accidentally trigger the anti-personnel.
well, no, we can handle that through the rolls, but yeah.
Yeah, so the first one, the next one actually goes much easier, and they get a double success.
Hey, guys are getting looks like you guys are getting a feel for the Cardassian systems, huh?
Also getting a feel for space. Boing, boing, boing. In the distance, you can see them kind of bunny hopping along.
Sorry. As they start to get further away, though, there's a light from overhead, and a photon torpedo hits the station and causes a large tear in the hull up ahead.
How dare this thing predict the future?
Uh-oh!
All breach. Take evasive.
And while they're on the way to the next one, they get a success and a complication.
With the large startling blast, Neen starts to drift away.
This isn't ideal.
Gotta go get Neen.
Faberry tries to reach
hold
over
on.
and grab Neen.
Okay, Faberry, your roll. Go ahead and give me a daring security roll. 1 success. You're able to leap over to Neen, but you grab them by the little leg, but I don't know, you're starting to slip. Without you're having a little trouble coming down. Someone else has to go grab Faberry.
Ryuji rushes. Okay. Ryuji or Chorog?
I'll see.
Go ahead.
In this situation, I would do Ryuji because Chorog, you're kind of the supervising training instructor in this.
Not to mention, I have something for Chorog here in a second.
You're stabilizing your suit thrusters.
Our message got out. We're famous.
So Ryuji, go ahead and give me a daring security.
Daring security. Oh, okay, I could do this. Oh,
Which-
and I'm not sure if that would. I'll just post my focuses, and you can decide if any of them help.
Well, 2 successes, 4 successes. I mean, either way, you're pulling.
I'd say composure.
Composure for sure, but yeah,
Yeah.
either way, you're able to swiftly bring Neen and Faberry down, and your group is now secure on the hull of the now damaged holographic DS9.
And everybody right now is feeling a vibration through their feet in the hull. That's new.
Uh-oh.
Chorog, a panel opens near you, and a small anti-personnel turret starts to poke out. Several of these come up along the deck.
Duck and cover.
Neen looks around. Duck and cover behind what?
Get beyond that ledge, now.
All right, so they do that, and the anti-personnel turrets open fire.
Dodge rolls. So these would be for everyone. You're going to be doing a
Damn, the
fitness
turrets
security,
are actually pretty good. You
Daring
have to
security.
gotta get 2 successes, everybody.
Daring security, you say?
Yeah. Hurl yourself off with force, or hurl yourself off with reckless abandon.
Oof.
Well, somebody's being Swiss cheesed. Kidding.
Lightly pew-pewed. So, a lot of people got 2 successes there. Tie goes to the defending player, so they're able to get off into cover just in time, but we have someone who only got 1 success.
Unfortunately, the Riothan security team moves fast, but not quite fast enough, and they lose 2 of their number to the turrets. And, the 2 killed quotation marks members are moved over to where Chorog is and have to sit this one out from here.
Did I mention Cardassians like to build in booby traps?
Now everybody has to deal with these, so if you want to make an attack against the turrets, just go ahead and give me, what you want. For Ryuji, this is probably daring security, and for everybody else, it's probably control security.
Daring security, you say? Another one to go, and this is
Right.
what you said?
This is attacking the turrets.
Yeah.
All right, I get my crit. Yippee! It's sending command, please, Majil, no, please.
Oh no! We're so close.
Okay.
Okay,
2 successes for the stabs.
Total, we have so far as 5. Barry, you want to attack?
Sure. How close is she to the turret?
This is theater of the mind, so if you want to melee it, you can melee it. If you want to shoot it, you can shoot it.
Okay, she pulls out two little spikes on D rings that's the traditional weapon of her people, and heads to smash it.
All right, give me a daring security.
A nice 0 gravity leap.
All right, 2 more successes. So the only people who struggled with this slightly were the trio, because they're not exactly tactical, but they managed to shoot down a turret. The Riothans basically just kind of fan out in a circle and fire in all directions and take out several turrets. And I will leave Grawl and O'Connor to narrate what Ryuji and Faberi do.
I'm going to leave that up to Duncan for me because I'm my brain doesn't want to work tonight.
So, Ryuji darts out, darts back, tricks the turret into firing, and then swings around and slices the turret off horizontally. It begins to drift away, and as it does, he slices it a couple more times. So he has made mincemeat out of the turret.
Faberi, putting her Idanginga as on her hands, which are glow D-ringed will hold spikes that she holds in her hands, tumbles out of cover and smashes the turret in a location that she believes would cause the most damage, and the turret just turns off.
The turret crumples under the assault, looking more like scrap metal than a turret. The turrets have been neutralized.
Well, we're down 2 of our number. So for those who are affected by those turrets, it's a learning experience. We're going to have to contend with those.
The 2 next to Chorog just kind of nod solemnly, knowing that they are, quote, dead.
To be fair, you didn't know this was coming, and I kept this from you just to see what would happen.
Everybody else, I think at this point, if I recall it correctly, they should be nearing the airlock. Yes, Duncan?
Well, you have the large hull breach, so you got to get over the hull breach.
Oh, this is good.
So let's go ahead and have another EV suit piloting check for this simulation. So let's go ahead and do control engineering or security.
Well, it's not just a hull breach, it's also a massive EPS conduit leak.
Oh, we got to have that as well.
So it's just spewing radiation.
What was the roll again?
Control security or control engineering. The trio, as per usual, just kind of managed to barely squeak on by. They don't have the timing down real well, but they still manage not to get hit. The Riothan security squad, on the other hand, activates their boosters and jumps over the entire thing, and then angles their boosters so that they land on the other side.
They do good. So we need a EV suit roll for Ryuji.
And what is it?
Control engineering or control security?
Control. I'm just going to do security. That's probably not going to kill me. So.
And Faberi got a single success.
Control 13. So 13. 13. Not 134. No, thank you. Oh, hey, single success.
So Faberi and Ryuji together are able to sort of work their way carefully around the massive EPS conduit leak, but it takes them a little bit of time, and they don't have the flashy entrance onto the other side that the Ryothan security team does. But eventually, all of them are onto the other side and to the hatch.
Very good.
Another hack to get the hatch open?
Yep, go ahead. And this would be the Ryuthans, the trio, accessing the isolinear circuitry to try to get their way into the airlock.
1 success.
They're making progress. Try again.
I was about to say, this has been the session of exactly just good enough.
Yeah. So much. Nothing spectacular. I mean, it's nice some
Not a
turrets up
success.
good.
In fact, it was the exact same roll.
Oh my god. So with that, you're able to slowly work, and the hatch goes ping, and it opens up. And you're able to slip inside.
And if I may suggest, this may be a good time for us to stop and come back to it.
Yes, and let me go ahead and add something to this moment here. So as you do this, this is the moment where there's this overload of the that was triggered on the USS Reliant due to its its refit, which had the unfortunate interface with Daniel's technology, which causes a little blip on the holodeck as they go through into the next moment. And that, the USS Reliant is connected to Starbase Magellan, and its systems go blip as well. And with that, we will leave things off until the next mission, where things continue to go blip. And of course, holographic technology is oh so reliable in Star Trek.
I was about to say, it's not a season of Star Trek if the holodeck doesn't try to kill you at least once.
And we haven't we did that a while ago, but we haven't had the classic, the holodeck just completely malfunctions. So, yeah, we'll see. And it's not just going to be the holographic safeties are disabled. We need to find a new spin on that. I do have
I was just laughing. We get inside there. There's Voth in battle suits instead of Jem'Hadar.
It crosses with the arena of Sompek.
All of a sudden, along with the regular enemies, there's gonna be samurai from ancient and cowboys and stuff also scattered throughout.
No, a simulated Jem'Hadar.
There's a scary thought.
Also, Starbase Magellan, I'm going to say, has had holographic emitters spread around it for holographic crew members to easily cross through the station with ease.
Jem'Hadar everywhere.
Everyone gets Jem'Hadar next
You get a
week.
Jem'Hadar. You get a Jem'Hadar. You get Jem'Hadar. Everyone gets a Jem'Hadar.
Oops,
with that-
Jem'Hadar.
And with that, thank you for joining us, and we'll continue on next time on Star Trek Reliant. But bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
But
Bye.
before you go, don't forget we do have email. Reliant at StarbaseCGC.com.
Reliant at StarbaseUGC.com.
Yes. Contact us through our email. See what happens.
We promise we're not allowed to put pipe bombs in there anymore.
And as you're leaving, please remember to collect all stray belongings, including stray Jem'Hadar.